Hi, and welcome to our second mental chat. Today, I'm going to talk about our emotions, why they are important elements for our well-being and their individual function. So, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Alice. I'm the clinical director of Crossroads Psychology. With over 20 years of experience, have helped hundreds of people improve their lives. And this is the first podcast to show you how to apply the principles of scientifically proven psychological models such as CBT, mindfulness, and ACT to get unstuck. Because change starts from within. You're listening to the Mental Chats podcast. Welcome back. So, emotions. We love and hate to have them. How many times I've been happy about being happy, or angry for being sad, or afraid of being afraid, and so on. Emotions are complex and layered psychological events, but they are essential to our well-being, even the strong, unpleasant ones. And we will see why. First of all, I want to clarify the difference between emotions and thoughts, so I know we are all talking about the same thing. The easiest way is to say that emotions can be defined in one word. For example, I feel angry, afraid, disappointed, happy, excited, one word. If you say things like, I feel like I'm a failure, that's not an emotion, that's a thought. A thought that comes with emotions, but still a thought. So if the thought is I'm a failure, the emotion could be disappointed being disappointed with myself. And that is a mix of primary emotions such as sadness and anger. So I hope the difference between a thought and an emotion is clear enough, but do send me a question if not. For now, let's just have a look at our primary emotion and what they are. Now, there have been many studies and theories classifying primary emotions in anything from 4 to 27 primary emotions. So don't come tell me, what about this primary emotion or that primary emotion? If you are interested in learning more about the theory and research on emotions so far, I'll put some reference in the episode notes. But in the interest of simplicity and time, today I'm going to present just 4. And the primary emotion we're going to talk about are fear and anger, and happiness and sadness. And this is because they are opposite sides of the same coin. So fear and anger are two sides of the flight or fight response. So if you don't know what the flight or fight response is, an automatic response of the body where in a dangerous situation my body prepare either for fight for my life, anger, or run for my life, fear. And happiness and sadness are clearly opposite emotions. Said so, I could, in particular situations and circumstances, being happy about being sad, or being sad about being happy. But these are emotions about emotions. These are the layers I was talking about. They are not the primary emotion. So for now, let's stay with the primary emotions and their function. So let's start with fear. What's the function of fear? Why do I need to be afraid or anxious? For example, if I'm crossing the road and I see a truck coming, it's fear. They make me step back onto the pavement. So the fear, it's here and now, while the anxiety, it's fear of something unpleasant in the future, not happening right here, right now, but that might happen. I'll give you an example. So if I am in a jungle, walking in a jungle, and a tiger jumps in front of me, it's fear, the flight or fight response, the fear that makes me run for my life. Okay, so here and now there is a tiger, I feel fear, I run. Okay, but next time I go to the jungle, I might be anxious that a tiger might jump in front of me. Okay, so a little anxiety improve performance, as in it keeps me on my toes, it keeps me vigilant in case there is a tiger. But too much anxiety and I freeze and I will never step into the jungle again because I'm too afraid. Okay, so the function of both fear and anxiety is protection, is to protect you. Just fear is protecting me here and now. A truck is coming, I step back. Anxiety is fear of an unwanted future. Okay, and they're both an healthy, helpful response if appropriate to the situation. Okay, I've got an interview, I've got an exam, a little bit of anxiety. Again, we said it keeps me on my toes, it keeps me sharp and vigilant, but a too sensitive fear system, and I get all of the anxiety disorders that we're going to talk in future episodes. Okay, so now let's look at anger. So we said it's the fight side of the flight or fight response. So in a situation that is either dangerous or unfair, anger helps me to fight for my life or to fight for my right. And its function is defense. Again, too much or too little anger, and I have an anger management or an assertiveness problem. So while emotions are important pieces of information for us, guiding us in life, we want to really make sure that they are appropriate response to a current situation. Okay, now let's have a look at sadness. What sadness? Nobody wants sadness, but sadness is also a healthy, helpful emotion. Don't we all loved when at the end of the Inside Out movie, sadness saves the day? And all it was needed all along was to let sadness do her job. If you haven't watched the movie, watch it. It's brilliant and very scientifically accurate as well. Anyway, sadness. What's the function of sadness is not so easy to grasp. So let's think about what is the general behavioral tendency when people are sad. So the first thing when we're sad is to withdraw, possible cry and think, and that gives us the time and space to process whatever it is that is making us sad, being that a loss or a difficult change or a lack of something. An helpful response to sadness would be to find somebody to talk things through with, to help the processing process. Also, if we think about emotion in terms of social relationships as well, sadness attracts compassion and support from others. Obviously, too much sadness or an unexpressed, ignored sadness creates all kinds of depressing problems, including addiction, self-harming, and suicidal thoughts. And if you are experiencing any of these, I highly suggest that you contact a psychologist as soon as possible. But let's look now at happiness. We all want happiness, and rightly so. But emotions are consequences. You can't chase a consequence. Something bad happens, I feel bad. Something good happens, I feel good. It's a consequence. And the chasing of happiness, that thrill, that high, creates all kinds of problems, particularly with addiction. So it feels good, but what's the function of happiness? Okay, so if you think about children, when they're happy, they play alone or with each other. They play, they dance, they sing, they play pretend, they try new things, and in doing so, they are learning, they are growing, they are connecting with each other. This is why there are a lot of educational theories recommending learning through play, because when we play, we learn, and when we are bored, we switch off. This is true for adults too. So, but let's look at another adult function of happiness, because when we are comfortable and happy, we are more sociable, we are more talkative, we sparkle, and that attracts people. So connection, community, friendship, and a mate. All very important elements to maximize our chance of survival and the continuation of the species. So, as I said, there are many different theories, and you can have a look at the reference in the episode note if you want to know more about emotion. The important point here is that our emotion, all of them, are healthy, helpful responses when they are appropriate to the situation. But what do I mean when I say they are our compass in life? So emotions, if you learn to listen to them mindfully rather than reacting on autopilot, give you very useful information about what is important for you in life, what you want for your life, what you don't want, and what is not working for you. So what I'm saying is that emotions point to the value, and we will have an episode on values. But for now, if I get angry about something, it's because something important is being ignored, stepped on, broken. What is it? The emotion points to the value. I'll give you an example. If I get angry because my partner didn't wash the dishes, I can argue about the dishes and the dishes today and the toilet seat tomorrow and so on and so on. Or I can reflect on what the dishes represent. What is the value that has been broken and stepped on? Is that respect, equality? Don't argue about the dishes. Who cares about the dishes? Have an asserting conversation about equality and respect. In relation, using the dishes as an example, but could be any other example. And there are techniques to have this kind of difficult conversations in the Living a Meaningful and Successful Life program on the Crossroads Psychology website, if you want to know more about this. Also, if I worry about something, because I care about that something. If I didn't care, I wouldn't worry. And especially with worries, you want to really see if it's realistic and appropriate to the situation. The same for sadness, the same for happiness. So emotions guide you, help you to understand yourself better, to make decisions, to choose your path in life, because they point to the value that is either lived or not. And our values are our North Star. Is when we live our values, so what is important to us, we experience that happiness as a consequence of living our values. Unfortunately, living our values when we are not very often involves overcoming fear, anxiety, embarrassment, anger related to living that value. Otherwise, I would be living it already. And we will talk more about values in another episode. The important point here is that emotions are our compass in life, our navigation system, because they point to our values. So it's important to listen to them and identify the value and choose our response, but also to determine if they are appropriate response to the situation or an overreaction or underreaction due to past experiences. So I hope I've given you enough point of reflection for today. But before I go, I just want to answer our first question, which is, why should I go to a psychologist rather than talking about my problems with a friend? So thank you, Chiara, for sending this question. I'm sure many people wonder that. So, the short answer is do both. Talking about your problem with a friend is really important for a number of reasons. First of all, it helps you to process and clarify the problem for yourself, as we said before. It gives you that social support that we said is being part of a supporting community is essential for well-being. Finally, it's a bonding of opportunity with that particular friend. So absolutely do. Said so, unless your friend is a psychology, he or she can be a sounding board, but doesn't have the knowledge or training to help you find your solution to the problem. Friends and partner can give you their view of the situation. They can share what they would do. They can give you example of their life, but that might not be right for you. Also, what they would do depends on how they interpret the situation. That depends on their experience in life, good and bad, and their automatic thoughts, fears, and beliefs. But this is your life, and you need to find a solution that is right for you. And a psychologist can certainly help you to do that. Also, solving a problem is in reality a great opportunity. It's an opportunity to listen to your emotion and identify your automatic thoughts and how your past experience are influencing your view of the situation right now, to check in with your values and choose the response you want to apply to the situation, which will take you closer to living the life you value. Not your friends value, you value. And that is an essential part of growing as a person. A psychologist will guide you and support you in doing this exploration for yourself. So I hope I've answered your question. And any other question, please send me an email at mentalchats@crossroadspsychology.co.uk. So share this episode, and I'll see you next time for another mental chat. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If so, leave us a great review and share this episode with friends and family. This will help us reach more people and improve more lives. You can also follow crossroads.psychology.uk on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Mastering scientifically proven psychological techniques is the most effective and fastest way to overcome the stress, anxiety, and low mood, stopping you from creating the life you want to live. And we have plenty of free resources for you to use on the courses page of our website, crossroadspsychology.co.uk. Go and use them. And let me know your thoughts by tagging crossroads.psychology.uk on your socials. I'll see you online.